Have you ever been made to feel ashamed, small, or afraid by someone claiming they speak for God? I have. I was raised Catholic, and my father often reminded us that men are above women. But what he never said is what came next in the Bible. That men are supposed to protect women as if they were their own flesh. That's how religious manipulation works. It takes a little truth and twists it into control. If you've ever felt trapped by guilt, fear, or obedience in the name of religion, I want you to know you're not crazy. You're not broken. You've likely been manipulated. And once you see it for what it is, it becomes easy to spot. Because real faith doesn't serve someone's ego. Manipulation always does. I grew up in a religious household, but the faith I knew wasn't love, it was labor. My father always said we were a family built on faith, but somehow I was the one always working, cleaning, carrying, fixing. Day after day, I was used like a tool, and every time I asked why, he said it was because of God and because of family. I never got paid for anything. Even the money my grandmother gave me in secret, he took that too. He called it order. He called it tradition. But looking back now, it was manipulation. And here's the hardest part. When you're inside it, you don't even see the bars of the cage. You think it's normal. You think you're the one who's wrong. Only from the outside can you finally see what it was. Control dressed up as love. Power dressed up as religion. I didn't know how to break out, but I want to help you see it, because once you do, everything starts to change.
If you're being manipulated right now, or you've been in the past, then I'm going to tell you the truth. You're not weak. You're not crazy. But you are fucked up, and it's not your fault. I know that sounds harsh, but that's what manipulation does. It messes with your mind, your confidence, your identity. You start having depression, low self-esteem, anxiety. You second-guess everything. You search for the faults in yourself. Because someone trained you to believe the problem is always you. I've seen it again and again. I have a friend, sweet, kind, smart. But someone in his own family kept using him. Asking him for money all the time. Blaming him. Now he walks around like he's always guilty for something. Like he doesn't deserve peace. That's the result of manipulation. And here's the worst part. When you're inside it, it feels normal. You don't realize you're someone else's puppet. Because the strings are invisible until you look closer. But I promise you, once you see it, once you recognize the signs, you can break free. That's why I'm making this video. Not to attack religion, but to protect people from those who use religion to control, shame, and dominate. Real faith uplifts you. Real love gives you freedom. So if someone is using God as a weapon against you, they are not speaking for God. They're speaking for their own ego. In the next part, I'll show you exactly how to spot the manipulation, so you can finally start cutting the strings and live your life for you. Let me tell you something real. When you're being manipulated, especially with religion, it's not just about guilt. It's about constant control. You say yes, they say no. You want peace, they want chaos. You try to breathe, they squeeze tighter. It never stops. They don't just want obedience once, they want to own your reactions. And the scariest part is, they don't care what you want. Your voice? Doesn't matter. Your feelings? Not part of the equation. And if you're still in it, they think they've already got you. That's why they don't hide it. They don't worry, because they think you won't notice. So here's how you flip the game. You start watching. Start testing. Say no and see how they react. Express something different and see if they try to shame you. And most important, pay attention to patterns. Are they always right and you're always wrong? Do they give love only when you obey? Do they use religion like a leash? These aren't accidents. These are systems of control. If it feels wrong, it is wrong. That gut feeling you have, that tightness in your chest when they talk? That's not doubt. That's truth trying to wake you up. Start writing it down. Start noticing what triggers it. I promise, once you see the patterns, you'll stop blaming yourself. You'll realize it wasn't God punishing you. It was just someone playing God over you. And once you see that, you're already halfway free. Let's get real. Today's religious manipulators? They don't all wear robes and hold a Bible. Some of them scream on YouTube. Some wear Rolexes and tank tops. Some call themselves kings. And thousands of young people are following them like they're holy men. Wes Watson, King Azule. These guys speak with conviction, energy, power. But underneath all that hype, it's the same formula as the old school manipulators. Control, guilt, shame, all wrapped in shiny branding and edited videos. They know exactly how to talk to young men who are lost. Especially the ones who grew up feeling weak, rejected, insecure. They talk about respect, power, discipline. But what they're really selling is slavery to their ego. They say, "Follow me, do what I say, and you'll be strong." But what they mean is, obey me, pay me, worship me. And yeah, some even bring in religion to back it up. Claiming to be Jewish kings, men of God. But they live off greed, vanity, and control. You know what the Bible says about that? They say they are Jews, but they are not, they are of the synagogue of Satan. That's not just ancient prophecy. That's right now. These aren't teachers. These are actors with microphones. They don't want you free, they want you hooked. Just like the old manipulators in religion, they feed off your brokenness. And yeah, they even use sound effects like wow and powerful background music. Because they know who they're targeting. World of Warcraft players, young men with no role models, low self-esteem. They're fishing in that sea. And I'm not saying you're weak if you listened. I'm saying you're strong if you see through it now. If someone's talking about strength, but all you feel is shame, it's fake. If someone's preaching power, but they want your money and obedience, it's a cult. This isn't just religion anymore. It's business. So be careful who you let speak into your life. Because if they sound like God, but act like a pimp, they're not leading you to heaven. They're selling you a leash. When you start waking up from manipulation, it's painful. But there's something even worse than pain. Denial. Denial is what keeps you loyal to people who would never protect you. Denial is what makes you excuse behavior that would destroy someone else. And when these so-called leaders get exposed, it hurts because it proves everything you feared was real. Let me give you one example. A guy who calls himself King Azule, millions of views, followers, pretending to be a Jewish alpha, spreading teachings like he's some spiritual lion. Behind the scenes? He was caught in one of the most disgusting scandals in this space. A 15-year-old girl accused him of doing the unthinkable. It wasn't just rumors. It wasn't just hate. It led to his arrest. It led to real investigations. And it shocked thousands of people, especially the young men who looked up to him like a father figure. This is why I'm telling you. These people aren't gods. They aren't saviors. They're just men. And some of them? dangerous ones. So when you hear someone yelling into a camera about truth or God or power, but their actions are hidden, shady, or evil, that's not strength. That's a mask. And it can happen in a church. It can happen on YouTube. It can happen anywhere people are looking for help, and someone steps in to take advantage. If you're following someone right now who makes you feel small, guilty, or afraid, ask yourself, would I want someone I love to follow this person? If the answer is no, then maybe you already know. Breaking free starts with seeing what's real even when it hurts. But once you see it, you can never unsee it. And from there, you're finally free to build something real. If you've been manipulated by someone who claimed to speak for God, or for your future, or your family, I want you to hear this clearly. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're not alone. In the last few days alone, we've seen it again. Another influencer exposed for exploitation. Another so-called alpha male arrested. Another spiritual leader caught behind lies and cash and silence. You might see their videos online, still going viral. But the truth is catching up. And every time someone speaks out, like you, like me, that truth gets louder. Look, I know what it feels like to be in the middle of it. You doubt yourself. You feel guilty. You think, maybe they're right and I'm just not strong enough. But that voice in your head, that one that says, this doesn't feel right? That's your freedom calling. You were never meant to be someone's puppet. You were never created to be used, drained, or kept small. You were meant to think, to feel, to rise. And if you've made it this far through my story, then maybe you're already on that path. So let this be the final message. Don't go back to sleep. Don't shrink to fit their rules. Don't sell your soul for fake peace. There are others like us out here, building a new kind of life, one that isn't based on control or fear. You're not crazy. You're not lost. You're waking up. And once you wake up, you can help others. If you've been manipulated by someone who claimed to speak for God, or for your future, or your family, I want you to hear this clearly. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're not alone. In the last few days alone, we've seen it again. Another influencer exposed for exploitation. Another so-called alpha male arrested. Another spiritual leader caught behind lies and cash and silence. You might see their videos online, still going viral. But the truth is catching up. And every time someone speaks out, like you, like me, that truth gets louder. Look, I know what it feels like to be in the middle of it. You doubt yourself. You feel guilty. You think, maybe they're right and I'm just not strong enough. But that voice in your head, that one that says, this doesn't feel right? That's your freedom calling. You were never meant to be someone's puppet. You were never created to be used, drained, or kept small. You were meant to think, to feel, to rise. And if you've made it this far through my story, then maybe you're already on that path. So let this be the final message. Don't go back to sleep. Don't shrink to fit their rules. Don't sell your soul for fake peace. There are others like us out here, building a new kind of life, one that isn't based on control or fear. You're not crazy. You're not lost. You're waking up. And once you wake up, you can help others do the same. That's the real power. That's the real faith. Let them keep their thrones of lies. You build freedom. Let me tell you something no fake prophet will ever say. We are all the same. We all bleed red. We all cry when we lose someone. We all want to be loved, respected, and seen for who we really are. You've got 5 fingers, 2 legs, 2 eyes, a heart that beats just like mine. That's not random. That's design. We were made as brothers and sisters. Not enemies. Not slaves. Not tools. But somewhere along the way, someone planted the lie. That because your skin is darker, or your passport is different. Because you live in the bad area of town. Or because you came after someone else to this country. You're worth less. That's the lie. Let me tell you the truth. If you work, you are worth just as much as anyone else in that country. If you pay taxes, if you contribute, if you try, you stand equal. But here's the twist most people won't say. Even taxes are part of the manipulation. We've been trained to believe our value comes from how much we give back to the system. How obedient we are. How quiet we stay. But listen. You were valuable before the system ever saw you. Before they taxed you. Before they judged your name or your accent. Let me tell you something no fake prophet will ever say. We are all the same. We all bleed red. We all cry when we lose someone. We all want to be loved, respected, and seen for who we really are. You've got 5 fingers, 2 legs, 2 eyes, a heart that beats just like mine. That's not random. That's design. We were made as brothers and sisters. Not enemies. Not slaves. Not tools. But somewhere along the way, someone planted the lie. That because your skin is darker, or your passport is different. Because you live in the bad area of town. Or because you came after someone else to this country. You're worth less. That's the lie. Let me tell you the truth. If you work, you are worth just as much as anyone else in that country. If you pay taxes, if you contribute, if you try, you stand equal. But here's the twist most people won't say. Even taxes are part of the manipulation. We've been trained to believe our value comes from how much we give back to the system. How obedient we are. How quiet we stay. But listen. You were valuable before the system ever saw you. Before they taxed you. Before they judged your name or your accent. You are not what they say you are. You are not less. You are not late. You are not broken. You were born whole. And you still are. So don't let fake leaders, loud influencers, or scared people divide us. Don't let anyone tell you that you're less human because of where you were born. How you worship. Or how much money you make. We're all waking up. And once you see it, once you feel it, you'll never be a puppet again. Thank you for listening. If this made you feel something, share it with someone who needs to hear it. More truth is coming. More love is coming. More freedom is coming. Peace.